Welcome, lizards, to another episode of Legions Lounge, episode 68, where we talk about all things Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Figura Obscura, customs, and other Mythic-related action figures and stuff. We are your hosts. My name is Trevor 16 Shooter. With me, as always, are my co-hosts Nate Strong at Corona4 on the gram, Bill Jernowski of the infamous and famous Dork Lair on YouTube and Instagram. How are you, boys? How's it going? You excited?
Excellent.
This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a good one.
Pumped. Yeah,
I can't wait. Can't wait. We got a little bit of time with our guest backstage, but not enough. So we'll get to that. We're gonna race through some stuff here and get him out very quickly. So before we get started, please take a second to smash that like button. Do it right now. We'll wait. Go ahead. Do it. It helps us out. Lets people know that this is happening. Also, after the show, please leave a comment. If you like the show, if you didn't like the show, if you have something to add, or something we talked about sparks some interest, let us know in the chat. As always, super chats are appreciated, and we'll guarantee your comment gets read. So think about that. Nate, who we got in the lounge, man? Who we got? We got
quite a few.
We got a super chat right here from
Kevin
Boots. $4.99. Have to be up at 4 a.m. Oh no! Just wanted to say I'm happy that CB is doing better.
4 a.m.
Hit that like button. Corn. Don't forget to take a drink. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh man. Well, I hope you get to watch a little bit of it while you're falling asleep, Kevin. But thank you, man. As always.
If you're up early, maybe he's going on a trip. So safe travels, Kevin.
Yeah. Whatever you're doing. Don't miss your alarm. I hope. All right, Nate, who else we got? Sorry about that.
We got no worries. Let's see. I'm going to go all the way up to the top two. Rob Zamora. What's up, Rob? Dave Orkin, Jacob Forna, Blake, Mr. Allen in the world of toys. What's up? Purple Gang is with us. Van Johnson, Literally Action Pigs, Cullen, Rob Harris, Greg Schmerber,
Schmerber Burger. I got to see Schmerber Burger at Zolocon.
Yeah, I want to hear about that. Billy Beige, Jacob Forna, Jesse with Just Shelvit, Death by Mexico.
Jesse.
I am TJ Williams, Josh Brown, Mythic Dolphin, TV Collector 41, 2005 Battlefront 2 Droidica, Gus Maza, Curtis Ackerman, David Williams, Frankie Mazza, is that who I just said? Kirby Smith, Christopher Collier,
2 different Mazzas.
Thomas Belay, Legion's Workshop, Carver Customs, Jared Pierce, Cloud Foxwell, Everett Miller, JG, David Smith, Eric Miller, Tanya McCoy. What's up, Tanya? Joe Gonzalez. Hey, Joe.
What's up, Jim?
Kevin McCoy, Stacy Lynn, Jordan Wholesome Warlock, Tom Clayton, Josh J, Steph Ork, Ish is here. What's up, Ish? Michael Morales.
Ish. What's going on, Ish?
Maverick, calling the ball. King Castle Sieger, William Golden, the Collecting Brothers.
Hey, what's up, guys? Cookie here.
Brick something. JMax 77, Emerald Knight Photos. What's going on, John? Game Quest, Russian 61, Big Dub, Alec McLaughlin, Christopher McCall, Stephen with a V, Banana. I know. I'm going to say
2005 Battlefront 2 Droidica.
I did say him. Yep.
Okay.
I'm just
going to. I missed that.
Escaveria Guaz. Sorry, buddy. Have any idea how to say his first name? PD Dubs. Paul Stewart, and I think that covers it. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
I'm going to take a look. Is that an L? Is it Gyalsige?
Guaisage?
I don't know. We're probably butchering. I'm sorry, man.
Guaisage?
I think that
it's an I. Okay, it's a lowercase I. So Guaisage. Yeah.
Guaisage. Okay. All right.
Guaisage.
Or G, he's saying. Just G.
G. We'll do that. That works. Thanks, G. Cool. Donovan Button, what's up?
Cool. All right. So how are you guys doing? Good? Everything's
excellent.
Good?
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Real quick news. The in-stock sale
Oh,
is
this.
still
Oh my gosh.
happening. Bill, you just did a little kind of recap on Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the day
I jumped on.
of.
Yep.
This is like this moment right here. Everybody needs
Yep.
to like step back and just like embed this in their memories of like right now. You can just go on to Store Horseman
Yeah.
and buy any of a number of tons of figures for that direct
prices.
price. It's just
Yeah.
insane. Like there's
Mhm.
11 different $26 Legion builders right now. Just like
It is
let that
insane.
sink in for a second. It's freaking
Great
amazing.
variety too. Yeah, mark this down on your 1/6 shooter calendar.
Exactly. 2 horses for $55, man. You come on, you can't beat this. It's incredible.
I mean, the fact that I guess I didn't remember this, but the fact that the Ogre Scale accessory pack is only $20 kind of blows my mind.
Deal.
So like,
yeah, it does.
the half
New
giant
packaging
in that set
too, right?
for
Yeah, 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 I was just gonna
$60
say.
is incredible.
Put it
Oh yeah, Trevor's got the new package. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I got it.
It's almost worth picking up just.
If you
just
didn't
for that.
see this, can you embiggen me, Nate?
Yes,
I don't know if you
I
can
can.
do Okay. Yeah, if you didn't see this, let me try and get the light out of the way. New packaging. So everybody who ordered it from the all-in or from the pre-order sale got it in this plastic packaging. I think it's the same plastic packaging, but didn't get it in a box. They just didn't have a box for it. It just wasn't something that they were doing at the time for accessories like that. And look at this beautiful Nate Barch artwork on the back of here featuring the noble Barch right there. And yeah, it's beautiful. So if you have it and you're like an inbox collector, or
I have the original one here, so you can see the difference if you want to.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
look at that.
Look at that.
I mean,
just
the end
it is what
product
it
is
is.
fantastic if you're going to open it up. But like, if you got if you just have that thing like I do, like you just have to have one in a box. There you go. You gotta get that.
Yeah, I had to crack out the half giant in that set, and just like start messing around with it over the weekend because it just it's so cool.
The pins went fast. The pin sets went fast. I don't know how many there were of those, but they went quick. So there was some people a little disappointed about that. But I think that's something not necessarily.
They warned people. They warned.
Yeah,
people
they told
that
it.
the pins would
There's
go
like
fast.
literally a handful of them.
I did get
I think
the 14 pin set.
Good
You did.
score. It's
Nice.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something in some form or fashion we'll see in the future again. Again, no inside information. I'm just saying, like, it's popular enough, and the pins have been coming, more and more, that we'll get some sort of faction pin set. They probably won't be the same thing. So if you're a completist, then you'll have to have this somehow. But I wouldn't go nuts if you just want to have something like that, paying exorbitant prices for it, because I think we might see like something like that down the line. What else? Let's just take this down for a second. Zolocon happened over the weekend. I got there on Friday. Steph and I went down there for the preview night, which I don't know if I do again because everybody wasn't set up. You know what I mean? Like the Four Horsemen were set up. Wolf King Customs were set up. D13 was set up. And there was a lot of people. Animal Wars Kingdom was there. They were set up. The Zolo booth was there giving people out their skull warrior, their skull man, warrior beast skull man, which is
it looks so cool.
now if from what I've heard, if you didn't get this and you want one, somebody was saying they're going to put them up on a store for sale, but I think you can still get them on the site. You have to pay $85 for the first one and then $50 for each one afterwards. It's like you bought the ticket. But I think basically they're making it up for shipping or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. It comes out to about like $67.50 per figure. So if you want one, they're still up there.
Sounds like if you missed Demetrios from PowerCon last year, is a similar kind of deal, I think. If you wanted that version of it.
I don't think it was unprofessional. I think it's a tricky thing. They tried it. They tried it. It's a thing like, everybody kind of had to get their vendors had to get there on a Friday, which this isn't everybody's full-time job, and set up before 4:00 in the afternoon, which can be difficult to do. So there were people coming in and out. It was our choice to go there. I would have liked to have gone back Saturday. I just couldn't do it. So, it's not a bad thing if you've got like 2 or 3 days there, at least 2 days there. But if you're going to go at all, I don't know if I would just go on Friday because you're not going to see everything. But still great.
But
If you
otherwise,
want,
looked like a great turnout.
it's a great show, man. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but it's a great show. There's a lot of vintage stuff there. Valaverse, if you're into that, was there this year. Again, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom was there. Chris D13 had his special demons, very limited demons for sale there. But it's a great show. I mean, there's a really good variety of people that have a lot of stuff. Like, there's not a lot of shows I go to that have like a lot of 1/6 stuff, but there was quite a bit of 1/6 stuff there. So
no kidding.
a lot of retro stuff, a lot of
mix.
1/6 stuff.
That's nice.
Real good mix. Really good mix. Yeah. Whatever you want, there's something
I don't know
there.
if you mentioned it, but the Legends of Dragonor, I think, might have been there.
They were there. Yep. They weren't set up when I was there, but they had their kind of table ready to go. They didn't have the figures out. So, but yeah. So definitely, if you go next year, you want to go on Friday night, definitely make sure you go back either Saturday or Sunday, or if you're in the area, or you get a hotel or whatever. For more from Zolocon, check out Hedgehog Action did a 2-part live from Zolocon. Art G also did a Zolocon wrap up. He was there Friday night, and I think Saturday too. Disavowed Action Figures has a couple interviews from there, and Yimbo Reviews Everything did a kind of, I think, post Zolocon like opening of some stuff that he got there. So he may have done like Skull Man or something like that. So go check out all those great channels and subscribe to those too, because they're
Hedgehog also has some interviews too, in addition to the.
That's right. He has a Valaverse interview and a couple other ones. Yep.
Nice.
All right. Quickly. We want to get to our guest here. Okay. Legion's Lair. Let me share this. Legion's Lair tomorrow night has Christopher Michael Olson. I didn't know this. First ever street team member. So that's cool. Had no idea. Nice dude. That should be a good, fun interview. And yeah, it's always fun because you get to see people's collections and stuff like that. So it's, we love the Lair. Legion's Ladies is on this Thursday. Am I right in saying that? Yes.
Yes.
2 days. 7:30 p.m. They've got John and Rebecca McDonald's Simple Tricks and Nonsense. If you were at LegionsCon last year or the year before, you saw them as multiple things: the Red Death, Goblin, Alithia, incredible cosplayers. That should be a fun interview. I guarantee that's going to be a very good one to watch. So
cool. Yeah, nice couple.
And also, Legion's Cast is on this Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Who are the best This is going to be literally a bloodbath. I mean, in the chat, this shit is going to be. I can't even. I'm glad
there will be blood.
There will be blood for sure. So go check that out Thursday.
I'll be on that. Toy Bro and I'll be on that.
Oh, nice. Are you going to be picking these? You're going to be doing this? Awesome. Yep. Oh, this is going to be cool. I like it at 5 p.m., man. It's like the end of my day. I'm just kind of wrapping things up and I start watching these guys and get a drink or whatever and make some dinner. So go check that out. All right. Let me see what other news or anything I got. I think that's it. So let's get on.
Other than the retailer appreciation wave that got announced in those figures.
Did we not talk about that? We didn't talk about that. Did we talk about that? No, we haven't. We haven't been on. Okay.
Not all of them last time. Maybe like just one or something. But.
Just the stuff that yes. All right. Let me jump over to that real quick.
Not that I want to delay getting our guest on, but
no. And we're gonna talk to him about some of this stuff. But yeah, so retailer appreciation wave was announced. We've got the Ghost of Jacob Marley Haunted Edition, which is kind of Haunted Mansion colors, which is cool. I see a lot of people saying they like this better. I personally like the original.
Yeah, I think I lean that way too, but it looks awesome. Yeah.
Yep. We got the golden Sun Wukong Golden Monkey Edition. I think is
Tales of the Gold Monkey.
Tales of the Wow, that is a callback, man. Holy God,
one of my faves.
That was a great show. Anything that was like brought you that's why Battlestar Galactica was great, because it was like Star Wars but on TV, and
this
Tales
was like
Gold Monkey was Indiana Jones but on TV.
Yep.
Not as good, but it was great. It was on TV. Go look that one up. You can't even find it. I wanted to watch some episodes and they're just not available.
I'd be afraid to, in a way.
Ruins the memory.
Yeah, right. Probably so cheesy, but
we got the Red Death kind of reverse edition. Aside from the mask mask would have been cool in black actually, but you know, I mean, it's a mask of the Red Death. It's not really the mask, the black, the red mask.
Well,
Well,
it's
whatever.
supposed to be.
But
it's supposed to be
I know.
blood. The mask
Yeah,
is
I
supposed
know.
to be blood.
I know.
So, but and I think it would have been cool. But I think like the Euro Legions guys talked about how this is a way for not just people who missed it to get this, but like it's access on a larger scale. Specifically, like internationally, there's distribution and stuff. So, I think straying too far away, like they kind of want a taste of that original too. So I think it makes sense to have that same mask. Yeah.
True enough. Yeah. For people who didn't get the original one. And then we had the skeleton the dead Undead of Vikenfell skeleton, which is a 2.0 skeleton, which I love.
Finally.
I love the 2.0 skeletons. I
finally
love them.
Yeah. I do thought I would have like bet money that the next 2.0 skeleton would have had the bare arms that came on Okiedos, like or on those like backpack things. Like, I would have bet money, but I'm a little surprised about that. But otherwise, like, man, this is a welcome return for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the 2.0s. I mean, I like the 1.0s too, but
it's great to have different scales to mix up.
Yeah, for sure.
Sizes,
I'm really happy with that one. I know some people didn't like the chest armor, but I mean,
no, I think it looks great.
Like
3 heads, man, the cloak.
It's awesome. Very Viking-like that piece, I think. I don't know. I think it looks good. I like it. And then we had Fisher Rice.
I gotta share this
Shadow Circle, dude.
Oh, you got it too.
Oh, you did. Of course.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't have one.
Hilarious,
dude. Look at how clean that is. Like
that is a good one.
Yeah, Trevor's is like
bang.
It's missing the little tether wire thing, but I think I can pick that up. But the guy was like, I don't think this has ever been taken out of the box.
That looks looks like brand new.
It's just this is cloudy. I want to try and find a way to take that off and just clean it up because I just basically want them on the shelf next to
right
because I love.
Did you find them at Zolocon?
No, I was gonna look for more adventure people there, but I just didn't have too much time. So, but I found them on eBay. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
But this is something I want to ask CB about, like if he's an adventure people person. So let's end
Speaking
this
of,
because we can talk about this stuff later on. We want to get our guest on here. So, wow, I mean, you know him, you love him, you miss him, man. We miss this guy. You know, he's been going through some stuff for the last 5 or 6 months now. He wasn't at G-Con with us. He wasn't at LegionsCon with us. We're gonna ask him, all this stuff, how he's doing, and hopefully, he'll be with us next year. We'll see. We'll find out. Let's bring him out. This is the man of the hour, the man of the next 2 hours at least, or an hour and a half at least. Cornboy, CB. There he is.
Hey.
There he is. Look at him. He's looking good. Look at how you look like you have a healthy paw and everything, man.
Yeah. He's looking great, man.
Really good.
Oh, thank you.
Good to see
I
you.
noticed you're in a new spot too. This isn't your usual. Your usual.
Well, it's because my computer seems to be on the fritz a little bit, so I'm on the phone right now.
Oh, this looks good for the phone, man. I gotta say.
And I have to say that so I've kind of like put together like a makeshift little base here, and I'm using Nate's box to prop up my phone. It's the Jacob Marley box.
Perfect.
I mean,
works pretty well.
Functional. Yeah, great.
Legions.
Oh, speaking of Jacob Marley, I believe that I don't know. I don't know which one said it. It was either Nate or Trevor. You said that
we're interchangeable.
You didn't like the color of this Jacob Marley as much as the original version.
Yes.
I don't know if it's been revealed or not. But if it hasn't been, that figure actually glows in the dark too.
Oh yes, it has. Yeah.
Okay,
it has
good.
been revealed. Yeah.
Good.
That has been talked about, and
that is really cool. Yeah.
Sure.
That is cool. Yeah. And Jeremy Gerard did mention that this color blue, you could tell he was chomping at the bit to say why that it was this particular color blue.
Yeah.
But you have to believe that it's because perhaps we'll be getting some other spirits, some other ghosts down the road that may match it.
Huh.
Just saying.
Interesting.
I mean, I'm not speaking out of school either here, but like, I mean, it's kind of
Educated
been
guess.
said that the ghosts will return. It's said in the booklet, so I'm going by that, and it's like it's gonna.
I mean,
happen, so I'm hoping.
the book itself only had maybe about a quarter of the story in it.
Right.
So maybe the books will return too, and
Nice.
Yeah.
you can't just do one ghost and then not have the ghosts of,
Come on.
you know, past, present, future Christmases, that kind of thing.
Right.
I don't
You
think
would
so.
you would imagine that they would eventually come, but who knows?
Yep. So I don't know if this actually, they didn't tell me while I had it that it glowed in the dark, but so I'm assuming that maybe the paint that they had wasn't glow in the dark paint, and I
It
couldn't
might not have
shoot
been.
it that way. Yeah, it's the prototype. So, but yeah, that is cool. I will be interested to see that for sure.
Not to
There's
cover you up,
big,
CB, but yeah,
okay,
we got
let me move us over on the other side here. I think
$4.99 from Brian. Big Dub, much love to
That's not it.
CB.
That's
Thank
not
you.
it. There it is. There we go.
Thank you.
Big Dub. Thanks, Big Dub.
Yeah, I hope
Appreciate
while
it,
you
man.
were sitting backstage, you were reading a lot of those chats, CB, because a lot of people were saying a lot of nice things. So.
I was very
Cornboy,
nice.
Cornboy.
I appreciate it all.
Awesome.
There
Yeah,
we
we
go.
missed you, brother. Like you said, you're looking good. So you're on the mend, but the damn computer's on the fritz. So it's always
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I should be able to get it fixed tonight. It's mostly just I have a lot of crap on there, and I got a new external hard drive, and I'll just be able to dump stuff over and
There you go.
fix it. So
Yes, definitely back up for sure. We gotta
Yep.
emphasize that. So how are you feeling, man? How are you doing? Like how are things? Are you back?
not necessarily 100% back, but
Okay.
I'm here. The doctor just released me to go back to the gym day before yesterday on the
great.
you know, just going to the treadmill and
Yeah.
you know, getting
Good.
some miles in.
That's
Yeah.
good. Walking's so
went
good for you.
2 miles for the first time in 5 months, and it took a lot longer than it did the last time I was on there, but
That's all right, as long as you're
but
doing
I got there. So
Good for you, man.
I'm doing okay.
Awesome.
Good.
Went through a lot, but it's turned out okay.
All right, good. We won't go into details unless you want to tell us what's been going on. But how did you? So this happened right before LegionsCon, right? Am I right? I mean, it was just like a week or so before LegionsCon was going to happen.
Yeah, that really sucked too, because I was looking forward to going, and out in the warehouse area, the guys were putting together the Ziri, the big tall Ziri figure, and it just looked beautiful. It was all in pieces, and I never got to see it completely put together until after LegionsCon.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just seeing that excited me, and just like the general buzz about going to LegionsCon, I was really excited for it. And
would they not let them wheel that through the hospital halls to come do a visit? Can you imagine?
You have a visitor.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, but I was able to look at some of the aftermath. The Wi-Fi at the hospital that I was in, Morristown, it just blew. It was terrible.
Oh man!
But
as if it's not bad enough being in there, and then you got to deal with that.
So I got a little bit choppy, but I got to see quite a bit of the stuff.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, man, it was, you were the topic of like, I don't think I got through a conversation that somebody wasn't just like, man, I'm so bummed the CB can't be here, man. Like I hope he's well, and I hope he can be here next year. It was, you were on everybody's mind, man. Everybody's mind. You couldn't
sorely miss.
Walk down the line in line for the stuff to pick it up without thinking about you watching G-Con. It's been right there, but everybody's definitely talking about you and thinking about you, man. So
yeah, missing G-Con, missing
intern,
the intern for a day, and the I mean, all that stuff. Those three things. Obviously, missing Zolocon just now, and all the other conventions and stuff, they suck, but that is like our thing, and to miss out on that was quite a bummer. But
I'm sure that had to hurt.
Next year,
it's like Christmas, you know what I mean? It's like I'm sick as a dog on Christmas Eve and Christmas, and it's like that's it. That's the day. But
that's awful.
But I mean, your health is more important, obviously. Right. Getting through that.
Number one. Yeah.
So you mentioned, do you think you're going to be there this year? I mean, all things the way they are right now, you're planning on being.
By that time,
excellent.
November, I believe. I don't have any indications that I'm going to miss that. I might not be able to make it to Muskegon. Muskegon in Muskegon.
Yeah.
Muskegon. I probably won't be able to make it to that, but I'm hoping to hit some shows soon afterwards.
Yeah, ToyCon New Jersey's coming up not too far after that, right? Is that April?
I think so, and that's not that bad. I mean, even if I can only make it for a day, I can just drive right over there and then hang out for a day or so, and then leave. Not that big a deal.
That would make a lot of people very happy to see you, for sure.
Absolutely.
So it'd make me very happy to see a lot of people too.
Yeah. So were you able to get many visitors while you were in the hospital, or?
No. For quite a while, I was in the ICU after I got out, because it's a long story, but when I had the open heart surgery, there were some complications, and I had to be sedated, and I was sedated for like 6 days, completely just, knocked out. And when I woke up, I couldn't walk. So I had to retrain myself how to walk. And I had like some nerve damage in hands and stuff. And it was it was not pretty. So I was in the ICU for quite a while and wasn't able to see anybody other than, close family members. But then after that, I finally was able to get into, what do you call it? The step down, which is like a normal heart thing. So
right.
It was okay.
Good. Oof, that's a long time, man. It's a long time.
It was a total of 3 months from the moment I went into Chilton Hospital, and then I had to get moved to Morristown, and then I got out of Morristown, and 2 days later, because of swelling and fluid getting into my lungs, I was back in Chilton. Jesus. And then I got moved to Inglewood to have the pacemaker put in. So it was a total of just over 3 months. So it was not a pretty thing.
That's tough.
Yeah, that is a lot. I mean, I've been in the hospital once for 5 days, and that was enough. It's like, I can't imagine. When I talked to you that one time, I was just like, do you want comic books? I think I asked you or something.
Yeah, you did.
You gotta be going.
Yeah, especially with crappy Wi-Fi. What did you do to pass the time? Were you reading?
I just happened to, right after I went into the hospital, I got the Art Adams, some big book of like Marvel artwork that Art Adams did. So I got to lay there and like pour through that. And then my girlfriend brought me in a few Marvel Epic collections that I read through.
Oh, great.
And then she came in and brought me a few puzzles, and some other stuff to keep my mind off of things.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Good. So you're out now. And how many things were piled up in terms of toys and collectibles?
And you still have a girlfriend?
There were a lot. And my Fantastic Four box set from Mezco came while I was gone, and they're all up on my TV stand over there.
Yeah.
I've rather than moving stuff from this area in there to my shelves, that is my office, I've now taken to just piling up a bunch of stuff on the TV stand here, and there's Fantastic Four, Green Goblin, Spider-Man, just a bunch of recent Mezco stuff, Doctor Doom, and
Doom. Come on,
yeah,
Doom.
oh yeah, that's got to be there, and the GI Joe guy Roadblock, and
Oh, nice.
What'd you think of the animated Batman and Joker? You into that?
Pretty cool. I was into it, back when it was on, and then a while afterwards. I'm not as into it now, but I'll be really interested to see what they come up with from that. Because you would think that they would almost have to have a new body. I mean, unless they're just going to use their old bodies for some reason.
No, it has to be more of the
very streamlined and very animated style. So that'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Mezco does their own thing sometimes, so I could see them. But I mean, if they're going to go further with that, like I don't think you could fit the Joker on. I think you got to do those stylized bodies. Like
the Joker, I think, can get away with it. I think that they can use the clothing to kind of hide some of that. But Batman, you almost would have to think that they would have to do a new body style with that. But,
at least an upper body, right? Like a big.
Yeah, you would think.
It's going to be interesting. I would love to see a good line for that. I mean, I know that the what was it? The DC Direct stuff, was that the line that was? I didn't get any of the stuff. I love that show, but I just never collected any of the stuff. But I would love to see it.
I think McFarlane is re-releasing the DC Direct stuff. So if you're interested in it, you can go back and get it now.
Yeah, and you're getting that 2-pack with him in it, right? With Spawn.
No.
Toddy Mac.
Oh, come on,
not really
Cornboy, you're not getting that
stuff.
In his bare feet. The hell?
Yeah. So weird.
Anyways,
did he walk around with bare feet? Do you remember that? Like, did he?
I don't remember that. I mean, he didn't come to the studio very often. A few times, but I don't remember him ever walking around bare feet. Maybe it's just because it's called Todd the Bum. Maybe he's supposed to be bare feet or something.
I guess. I don't know.
Bum.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that Fantastic Four set? What's your take on that? Especially the Thing, because I feel like the Thing is a little small.
I'm very, 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 very picky about my Fantastic Four figures. And Mez emailed and asked what I thought of them. They actually asked us if we could do the figures, and there was not enough time in the day. There's not enough, it was a problem with, like, hey, can you do these? Oh, if you would have asked us 3 months ago, we could have scheduled it in. So then they later on asked us to do the Doctor Doom figure. But I would have had a lot different ideas of what could happen with those. Now, Mr. Fantastic, I think he's great. I think that the Invisible Woman is pretty good. The Human Torch, I never liked the Human Torch that just had the bodysuit on and then just
some
flames on top of it. I would like to have seen them be able to change out, like the old Mego, the red line work on there. That would have been fine.
Right.
But that's whatever. And then I think that Herbie is a little big. And you said you thought the Thing was a little small. I think he's fine. I think he's fantastic.
Well,
one of the things that Mez asked about was the Thing in particular. And I sent him back an image showing, like, I did like a sloppy Photoshop on it, what changes I think need to be made. And one of the things I had was Thing should be a little bit smaller, because in the original image, he was a lot bigger than any of the other characters and Sue. My whole thing is, if you look at Kirby or Byrne or anybody like that, the Thing is about the same height as Reed Richards, but he's
you're right.
3 times as wide. He's like square. So if you make them too big, that doesn't really, I don't really like that. So I actually love that the thing is smaller than they originally envisioned him.
That's now that you say that, yeah, like Byrne was like I like the Fantastic Four, but when Byrne got on it, I was on board, man, and that kept me going with them for a long time. And you're right, like he wasn't meant to be the Hulk, like he was meant to be big and strong, but kind of just average sized, or I mean 6 feet, whatever.
My whole thing is when the Thing fought the Hulk. If the Thing could beat the Hulk, it was because he was a little more intelligent, and he went about it a smart way. Because he wasn't as strong and he wasn't as big as the Hulk. But if he could beat him, maybe, he was a little bit smarter than the Hulk.
Scrappier. Yeah, a little faster or something. Yeah, because of his size. Yeah. Yeah, like an NFL running back, little that short stature and the wide, like your balance is a little bit better than something that's tall. And so yeah, I kind of like that. Sue is my weak point in that one. I don't like their female buck, man. I just don't like it. They gotta improve that somehow. Something about it. I think the invisible elements look pretty cool, but and Mr. Fantastic I think is great. It's kind of the reason I'm keeping the set. That and the effects look great.
Yeah, I have all the stretched out the neck, the arms, the hands, the legs, the torso, and everything on him right now. And I just love him. That
is the best. Yeah, I love it. And Doom looks great, man. You guys knocked that out of the park, man. That looks really, really good.
We didn't do any of the soft goods on it. We just did all the hard stuff. And another thing, we didn't do the whatever that big thing he comes with that he uses against Galactus. We didn't design that. That was done later on. But we did everything else, and we're really happy with it.
Yeah, really, really nice. That's definitely the best of that that Fantastic Four set.
Well, thank you
for sure. I did want to ask you about this. So Fisher Rice, like your new guy, were you into these guys?
When I was a kid, Danny Smith, he was my best friend. He lived 2 houses down from me, and he had quite a few of those.
Okay.
And he had all different kinds, like all the Fisher Price adventure people, and not just like the aliens and the weird ones.
The safari set
and the safari set. I love
and Danny always played with the ones that were like normal human beings in a camper. And I was always the aliens and the robots and stuff. So I love that thing. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I was very excited to see that. I wasn't sure because Jeremy didn't tell me the name, but looking at it while I was shooting at it, I'm like, this is very familiar.
Wait a minute.
I'm forgetting something here that I was going to dredge up from the past. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh.
When that came out, I said my 3 favorite toy lines growing up were obviously the original Star Wars Kenner, Space Legos, and Adventure People. So this totally hit me in the feels.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. The price upgrade weapon. Oh, I do still want Doom if anyone has them without that. Okay. All right, Billy. Be on the lookout. Curtis Ackerman, the 1999 bomb. Thank you, man. Love you, CB. What do you think about the MCU? Oh, Fantastic Forecasting. That's a great question, man.
Yeah,
that was worth $20 right there. Thank you.
All right. Well, let's see.
Good question.
All of them except for Pedro Pascal.
Really?
I don't have anything against him. It's just I'm trying to figure out. John Krasinski, I think, was a fantastic Mr. Fantastic.
That would have been
no
good.
pun
He was
intended,
a perfect casting. Something must have happened where he couldn't do it or decided not to do it or something like that, because that was just spectacular casting. But Pedro Pascal, I'm not sure how he's going to fit in as Reed Richards. He can play a lot of different characters. We've seen him play a lot of different characters. So maybe he can pull it off.
That is my
I don't know about the look.
That's my only thing about him. I think he's a great actor, and people keep saying, oh, he's, they put him in The Last of Us, and he did great. He's a great Joel, right?
Yep.
But it's almost like overexposure in this genre at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he's Mando and he's Joel, and now he's going to be Mr. Fantastic.
Well, that's
Not
the
that he
thing,
can't
though.
bring something
frontier,
different to it, but like,
the final frontier is the MCU. Like
Yeah.
these are all stepping stones up to, hey, I get to be in the MCU now.
right?
And
Yeah,
that's going to be your final geekdom.
I have no doubt that he could pull it off and be kind of that, you know, I don't know, how would you describe Reed? Like not nerd. I mean, yeah, he's a nerd. He's a nerd. I mean, he's brilliant, but he's a little, you know, socially not all. He's not even awkward.
Well,
he's just kind of aloof. He's aloof. He's aloof, right? Yeah. I think he could pull it off. I think it's going to be good. I don't think they would give it to him without. This is a big one, man. If they can't pull off the Fantastic Four and make this, because I think there's a lot of people who don't really, even having 2 movies out already, really grasp onto the Fantastic Four, especially this new MCU audience. They have to sell this, and I think they wouldn't pick him if. But it's going to be interesting. I thought Krasinski was great too. Yeah, as soon as I saw him in Doctor Strange, I'm like, oh, he's not going to be our Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, that really was kind of a bummer to me that he wasn't going to be fantastic, because he was perfect for that role.
Yep.
But
what about everybody else?
Everybody else, I think, is fantastic. I can't remember the guy's name. The guy from The Bear. He's a little bit too tall and lanky to be Ben Grimm, but doesn't bother me because of his attitude, because of the you know, his whole presence seems to fit.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Just him being Ben. I mean, obviously the thing will be all CGI, but him transfer. And the kid from Stranger Things, I think, is a great casting choice, man. I think he's going to be very good. That's, you know, it's not going to be a version of what was his character? His name? Jesus.
Human Torch.
No, from Stranger Things.
No clue.
I forget his name, but he was like the rocker guy, right?
He was the rocker D&D master DM. He'll be great. I think he's going to be fantastic.
Yep.
Blake with $5 bomb. Cornboy, I'm very happy to see you on the men, looking strong and in great spirits. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Blake.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Blake.
Yeah, Blake was there last year. I think that was his first LegionsCon. So he'll be back for sure.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll all get to see you. And got to get your strength up, man, because everybody's going to want to give you hugs, as someone said earlier.
Oh, no.
Don't touch the corn boy. Don't touch the corn boy.
Yep, have you behind the velvet ropes.
Still the rule. Still the rule. Yeah,
I'll still be wearing a mask, I would imagine, but
So CB,
you hugs.
Right before we got on, you were talking about you had a lot to catch up on with the studio and stuff. So what kind of surprises we're waiting for you?
Yeah,
we'll talk about.
Well, I mean, that I can talk about. There's things, I mean, we mentioned there's things that I can't talk about, but
there was but you said there was some other stuff you hadn't seen before, you didn't know about.
Most of the retailers releases were things that I didn't even know. The adventure people retailer release, I had no clue that was coming. And then when we did our retailers meeting last week, I kicked it off, and then Jeremy kind of handled everything from there. And I was surprised to see that one. I haven't seen it in person yet.
Oh, I love that.
There's a few things at the studio that I can't mention that I haven't seen in person yet. I know it's there, and I know that Trevor probably has his hands on them, taking photos of them, but I haven't been able to see them yet.
Some cool stuff.
I know that I can go in the Dropbox and take a look at the photos that Trevor sends over, though.
Yes. Yes. So let's talk about this wave. So this is the wave that you were trying to watch from Wi-Fi, but didn't necessarily get to see everything straight through.
Yeah.
What's your take on this? Like what stand? I mean, come on, there's a bear.
The bear. I mean, for me, it's all about the bear.
Yeah. I figured it would be.
You just can't, like, you can't say enough about that thing. Like, Eric did a tremendous job on it. the fact that it gets on all fours or stands straight up, that's you just cannot do any better than that. It's so cool.
The standing
I'm
straight up
assuming
thing
you were able to catch up on G-Con, but when Joe brought that out next to the troll, that was a great move.
Yes, yeah, that was incredible. I hadn't seen it. They didn't have. They were still tooling that part to allow the neck part to allow him to stand on all fours. So obviously, I didn't have any pictures of that because they didn't have it. So that was a shocker, man. That was great.
Yeah, I got to see G-Con. It was a few days after the fact, just because the Wi-Fi was no good. When they moved me out of ICU into the other area, the Wi-Fi was fine, and I was able to watch it.
Oh, good. Good.
That was like that move that Joe made, standing him up next to the trolls.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was super cool.
Bringing out the wrong box. That was great. It was really good, man. It was a very good presentation. Jeremy did a great job organizing the whole thing and orchestrating.
He always does.
Yep.
And I got to tell you, just finally opening Arachagore pretty recently.
Yeah.
And checking out the details and in the hands and the feet and just the tiny little, you just know you're going to get this in this bear. Like, obviously you can't until you get it in hand, and you can tell, because, Eric talked about sculpting that fur just on and on and on and on. And I can't.
So I have to tell you that out of the Poxus wave, I only have Poxus and his horse, because I went into the studio, I don't know, it was almost 2 weeks ago. I was able to go in there and stop in and see everybody. And Diego came up and said, "Hey, do you want this one and that one? Do you want this wave? Do you want that wave?" And I was like, I can't carry all that stuff to my car. I can't, and if I did, like the guys there were more than willing to help me out.
Sure.
But I would have just had to leave them in my Jeep when I got home, because I couldn't carry it all in the house. So I said, just hold off on that, and I'll just take Poxus and his horse. And man, I love that thing.
Amazing.
So good.
Poxus is amazing, man. It's probably, I love Alithia, but I think it's my favorite of the horsemen so far, of the dark, what are we calling them?
Dark Four.
Dark Four. Yeah. That he's incredibly detailed, and I just think, again, it's always like having seen the prototype and having it drive me nuts, and then to get the production version in hand and actually being able to pose it nicely and move it around, it just seems so amazing. It's really, really fantastic.
Aerithir is still my favorite, but
Aerithir is cool.
I think Poxus runs a really close second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mythic Dolphin
until Necronominus. The Necronominus.
Oh, that wave. Is that one of your favorite waves?
Yes, because there's a creature in it that Eric sculpted. Has that been shown yet? Eric sculpted, for me at least, a monkey head. Oh yeah.
I thought that was what you were going to talk about. Yeah, the head.
Trapiculi.
Yeah.
So the monkey head is in the so you have the Trapiculi, right?
Right.
And then the monkey head is in the All-Star 6 wave in the pack.
That's right. All-Star 6, yep.
And so that in particular, I can't wait for the
that's amazing.
Yeah, the Trapiculi and the gorilla head. Sure. I just can't. I'll get 3 or 4 of those.
It's like, wow, you guys really are.
Trapiculi in the mist.
This thing is
Mythic Dolphin. Real quick, how do you attach the tail to Arachagore? Go and watch Dork Layer's video.
That's what I was just gonna say. Exactly.
Yeah,
he does a great job.
You can slide it in without having to pop it off. I'll just tell you that.
That's what she said.
That's right.
Somebody actually emailed us today asking if there was a better way to do that. So I have to send them that way.
Yeah, this thing I cannot wait for. I love this thing to bits. I love this whole wave. Just does it for me, man. Like, really the undead for sure. But
Belualith is pretty incredible too.
Stunning.
There you go.
Wait for her. I can't wait for her. If I don't get the test shot of this, I'm going to be very, very upset. I love her.
$5
Dave.
super chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Billy.
Take it, Nate.
Billy says, I'll take a fist bump or even a happy wave from CB. That bear is getting turned into Katahdin. Did I say it right? From the movie Prophecy. Katahdin? Katahdin?
I remember Prophecy.
Oh,
remember that.
gosh, that's an old movie. How old is Billy Beige? That's a really old movie. And
wow. Billy, tell us your age with another $5
$79. We all like Star Wars. It's
wow. Yeah, but
I'll have to look
not
that
too
up.
many people know that movie.
yeah, it's an
it's
obscure
not
one.
ringing a bell, really.
Star Wars has transcended time. I think, Prophecy.
It's this really just disgusting, rotting bear.
Huh.
Oh, yeah. I totally remember that. Yeah.
Check the movie out if you haven't seen it.
What else stands out to you in this wave that you were excited to see? And here's a question. When this stuff is I mean, I know like on a normal you're going to see these ahead of time because they're coming in as prototypes and they're in the studio or whatever. Did you get to see much of this before these pictures and stuff and the presentation came out?
Not a whole lot of it. I was working from home a lot of the time before going in, and before stuff goes out to you, I very rarely get to see it like all put together and painted. Every once in a while, if I go into Cameron's room or if I go into Sherry's room, then I'll take a look at it. Or if I go into the photography room where it sits before it gets sent over to Trevor to do the real photography on it. But most of this stuff I didn't get to see before it was done.
So what stood out to you on the when you were watching it? Did anything else besides the bear, like
the what's his name? I can't remember the name of the horse, the evil.
Oh yeah,
unicorn. Yeah, Umbra.
Umbra. Yeah. That thing is just slick looking, and it's so different. Like it looks like it's a horse.
Yep.
But just with a few detail changes, it creates such a different profile for it. It looks like you know that the Mythic Legion horses are thick and beefy and stuff, but for some reason that horse just seems to have like a lot of speed and stealth and thinness to it.
The ornateness of this was just crazy, man. I can't believe the details on this thing when I opened it up. It was amazing.
Here's an answer for you, CB, from Curtis Ackerman, 499. Thank you, Curtis. The One Ring kept Billy alive for a long time, but it also distorted his looks to what you see today.
And that idiot paid money for that. paid money to get that stupid response.
I'm glad you said it, not me.
Thank you, Curtis.
There you go.
That's why Billy's always ordering fish when we go out to eat. Billy just lightly braised. He doesn't even want to cook. It's weird.
Go ahead, leave the head on it, he said.
Exactly.
And the Minotaur guy in this wave is something that Nate painted on one of our packaging pieces years ago.
He's been around,
We finally got to see that come to fruition. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love that head.
To be kind of a sleeper too.
I think so.
You know what I mean? I think when people see it in hand, it looks really cool. The fur detail and stuff is really, really nice.
That happens to us so often, though. Where people say, like the I don't remember his name from the Poxus line, the genie, the djinn.
Oh
yeah, Calazir.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was one of those people, and I saw it like live. Yeah. I'm not into this, and it is so cool, man.
And when they get it in hand, they're like, I can't believe this. I thought this was ever anything not good.
I've went from I'm not sure I'm gonna like it to when I get it, I'm like, oh yeah, I like it, to now I know I'm gonna like it. I just might like it a hell of a lot more when I get it in hand. Yeah,
that's a real good compliment for both our factories and our production manager, to be able to take something from the prototype stage, as intricate as these are, and
incredible.
reproduce it over and over thousands of times again. That's testament to how good they are.
The
I
detail
was
blows me
commenting
away.
on that in my my AKA video. How the sculptures are incredible, but it's also the fact that the factory is able to create output that is so crisp and sharp, and like it's like all the scales have like a depth and like a crispness to them.
It's
like
tiny as they
everything
get.
about it is so sharp. Whereas I look at other toy lines, and like there's a lot of great stuff. It's beautiful stuff, but like nothing's ever as sharp and crisp as the Legion stuff.
Yeah.
There's a little misprint, you know what I mean? A little bit or something here or there.
There's like a softness to everyone else.
Yeah, everything is. I am always continually amazed that these guys can put these prototypes together, because these are all hand painted. What you're seeing here is hand painted by the studio, and then they get sent off, and through Chris, staying on top of them, they reproduce. I mean, look at this eye. I mean, just even this little these bumps. These are all dimensional, and to get that and to hit that, and that's what it looks like. If you
100%.
It looks
but
like.
That's the thing. When the first paint samples come back to us, there's very little that needs to be done. Like the factories just seem to get it, and maybe it's because Chris is on top of them all the time that they try to do better at this stuff. But there's stuff that comes back to us, and like Chris has like a few comments here and there, and Eric has some comments here and there, and it's all just minor little detailing stuff that it's amazing that the factory does that as good as they do.
Nate, this shot really captured that sculpture to me, and the color, like the colors in this as well. But like this really got that. Like, look at his left thigh down there. Like there's thigh that's in the light. Like, you can really see that depth.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, and this good drag from Crashbox
window. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I had him and Zende in my original. I was trying to set them both up together, and I kept just moving. Not that I don't like Zende at all, but I'm like, I just got to focus on one. They're just so freaking awesome.
So how do you feel about the dwarves? Are you a dwarf guy, or I don't remember?
I have to tell you, like, although the dwarves,
I love
the fans of the dwarves are very outspoken.
Yes, of course.
I'm not as big a fan of the dwarves as I once was. Like I had a collection of just a bunch of dwarves that I was actually mixing and matching parts to create other dwarves. And I had like a whole little assemblage of dwarves, and I've kind of, not as big a fan of them anymore. I'm more,
we just lost 30 people. They just dropped.
The Arathyr evil guys I'm really into, but the dwarves obviously have their place. I mean, like I said, they have a very loud and boisterous and they're a very good audience, but
they do. They're very organized too. They're very, very organized. They're they're a political movement, if you will.
Now, if there were a larger number of them, that would be great. Because the dwarves do not sell quite as well as most of the other figures.
This set may turn that around. It's incredible.
Exactly. I think this is the best of the dwarves that's been out there yet. Details are just getting more and more and more insane, and everybody. I mean, it's not even like an opinion. It's just a fact, and they're. I mean, it's gorgeous, man. I don't think you can look at this and not be a fan of this figure if not a fan of dwarves entirely. They're just really, really good looking, and I know people didn't like the first female dwarf. I still like her, but like I get it. It's a body type, whatever. It's just, it doesn't fit, but she's great.
And not only that, I mean, there's a lot of parts there that you can mix and match with some of the other dwarves and stuff too, and create new characters.
Oh yeah.
So,
and standard size figures. I think a lot of this stuff. I mean, the torches is a great addition. I love this. Yeah, the horn, anything could be used really for any 1.0, even 2.0 figure. They're really, really nice, really cool. All right, so we caught up a little bit on what's been out there. Hey, the Cavern Dwarf 2 is almost sold out. Oh
no!
Wow.
Speaking of doors, heads up.
Cavern Dwarf 2 was a very popular one. Now that's the antithesis of some of the other dwarves I was mentioning that they didn't sell well. The Cavern Dwarf 2 sold very, very well.
Yeah,
value in the box in that Cavern Dwarf. They're just it is a loaded figure. It's one of the most loaded builders. It's got to be one of the most loaded builders out there.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I really like the Deluxe Dwarf Legion Builder too. I thought that was a good one too. But the Cavern Dwarf is nice. The shiny metal and stuff on that is really, really nice. All right. Are you ready to travel back in time, CB?
Now, I heard a little bit about this at the beginning of the show, and you didn't really let me know what was going on, but I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, we'll see.
Fun.
No, I think this is good. This is something I found about, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. I'd never seen anything on this ever. Like, I used to look at the old site. I didn't dive deep into it. There was a lot of stuff there that was a little buried. I mean, the new site's so much more organized and everything. But this just came just came up, and I wanted to ask you guys about it. And so I figured this was the perfect. So this is the New York Times, kids. The New York Times from March 21st, 2012.
Almost. Yeah, just a month off from 12 years ago.
12 years ago. Helping one big client, but wanting to spread out. And look at these. I'm going to jump over here.
Can we start by zooming in this image here? Yeah, there you go.
I got it right here. Look at these fresh-faced youngsters here. Look at these guys. Good Lord.
Like kids.
Look at this. Is before Jim went out to the wilderness and just let it all go. And
before Cornboy shaved his head.
That's right. That's right.
Cornboy 1.0 there.
When Roger Waters was in the studio. That is kind of uncanny. Yeah. So this is an article from 2012 from an entrepreneurship section.
Now, who does it say that wrote the article?
Gregory Schmidt.
Right. So we became friends with Gregory Schmidt, and he originally contacted us about doing, I think it was like a business type thing where it talked about our finances and stuff, and we're not really into that much.
Yeah.
We're like, that's not really our thing. We're less businessmen and more just artists. So he came to the studio and kind of talked to us and decided maybe this was the kind of article to put out. So
Well, I find it interesting because, reading through it, I mean, you were kind of at a crossroads here. And what I'm wondering is, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I will put a link to this if you're okay with that, up somewhere on the Cabal or something tomorrow. I'll probably put a link in the description. I didn't put it in ahead of time because I didn't want people going there yet. So it says, I'll read just the beginning. The Four Horsemen Toy Design Studios, which I don't know where this goes. It'll be interesting.
Goes to an old link.
It does, yeah. There's a couple of there's one of them that's owned by somebody now. Toy Horseman. I don't know, whatever. Four Horsemen Toy Design Studios is a toy company based in New Jersey that creates highly detailed action figures for Mattel while making its own toys that are sold online to adult collectors. The challenge: making the transition from a small team of freelancers with one big client to a real business. I don't know what a real business. I mean, it sounds like a real business to me, but like
We didn't write it.
I know, with multiple revenue streams without losing that one big client. The Four Horsemen, Chris Dahlberg, H. Eric Mayse, Jim Preziosi, Eric Treadaway met while working at McFarlane Toys, and a maker of action figures wanting to create their own line. The four men left McFarlane in 1999 to start their own company. But creating a toy line, getting it to market, and making it profitable can take years. To be successful, action figures generally need a story supported by movies, TV shows, or comic books. Rather than focus on creating content, Mr. Preziosi said, the men decided to build their reputations as designers, which is exactly what you just said. At this time, Mattel was looking for an outside team. You guys pitched the idea of bringing back the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which has been highly successful in the 80s. Mattel liked the idea and offered the team a contract. Yada, yada, yada. The workload was modest. So Mattel kept you guys busy for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, you guys came up with Magma Core.
Yep.
And tell us a little about that. That was just like kind of something you were selling at conventions. It was a real direct market.
So it was in the very beginning, Mattel kind of had to work internally before they could get our business off the ground. And they actually took a chance and gave us a loan to get the business started and help us prototype and launch the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. We were also working on Max Steel at the time. We were doing Hot Wheels, just concept stuff for that. But they were taking a little while before they had to before they were able to help us get our business off the ground. So we started working on what we thought would be the next big thing, Magma Core, where it's kind of a cross between urban vinyl type stuff, which was huge in the 90s and 2000s, and and action figures, a cross between both of those. And we created quite a few characters for those. Eric actually specifically created quite a few characters for those. And we decided we'd go ahead and launch the line when, Mattel was being slow about getting their act together. Gotcha. But once they did, like just before we launched, Mattel gave us tons of work to do. Like, here, you need to do this and do this. And Masters of the Universe came around, and we had to get ready for the next San Diego Comic-Con, which was going to be, we were going to have lots of 2-ups at San Diego Comic-Con and the statue that we sold there. And so we had to shelf the Magma Core for a little while, but then eventually we were able to work it out and put it out there, and it sold okay. We've had some little symbols on some of the shoulders. I think it was maybe 20 or 25 that were the Four Horsemen symbol instead of the Magma Core symbol, which were just spread throughout the line and top secret and hard to get a hold of now, which
I can imagine.
That's how it went. We just kind of launched it, and it did okay. It didn't do great, obviously, since we never released anything else. But it did okay. And I think maybe if we came back with Magma Core again with a different style or something, maybe it would do well. But that was in the past. We're moving in a different direction now.
Yeah, I mean, things were different back then, articulation and stuff. People weren't looking at that stuff as much as they are now.
No. And with the urban vinyl, there's no way, at the time, there was no way you could have put that type of articulation like the ball joint shoulders and, the different double knees, double elbows, things like that. There's no way you could have put it into the urban vinyl kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of stuff. Wasn't that the kind of stuff that Mezco originally was doing too? With the
They were
Society, right?
They were doing some of that stuff early on, and I guess
I think Vapor came from that, right? Like Vapor was like
if you look
originally
at
like a
Vapor
vinyl.
now, Vapor now even still has a little bit of that urban vinyl look.
Yep.
But yeah, it originally was released in that style.
For sure.
Cool.
For your second effort, they posted sketches of a fantasy line called Seventh Kingdom to their website and let fans decide which figures and accessories would be made. The first figure produced was given a limited run of 1,000 and sold for $20 a piece. Mr. Treadaway said the plan was to keep the price as low as possible, which there you go. You guys are, getting like designers and toy lovers first. As long as we're breaking even on it, we're pretty happy about it. He said it's an investment, which is a great attitude. When the Seventh Kingdom figure was ready for production, it was offered for pre-sale. All 1,000 sold out in a few days, but production hit a snag. So this is interesting. This is an interesting story that they just touch on. So I think I've heard you tell this before, but or so you or Eric, you had to find a small factories in China that could produce the toys quickly and cheaply. A plan that backfired, and one of the factories closed before production had finished. You paid for it, and it was only half done. That's awful.
That was our first Seventh Kingdom release, and that was Ramathor, and it was this series of elephants.
Right.
The one which was specifically ours was this big elaborate elephant, had these huge ears with rings in the bottom of them, and a couple of different weapons than any of the other elephant characters had. And the other elephant characters were they were actually sold by online retailers and like online, I guess, websites or what would you call them? Maybe podcasts.
Okay.
There was Big Bad Toy Store, and there was some other retailers that were working on it, but also who was it? I can't remember who they all were, but we had, another 6 or 7. One of them was George Gaspar, who works for us now. At that time, he had October Toys, and
okay.
Huh.
he was, or was it that one, or was it the cat one? I don't remember. It's been so long, and I don't
Close
remember.
enough.
Did he hate fun back then too?
And he didn't hate it quite as much. But they all sold that stuff as like a partnership with us. And I guess they did okay. But the problem was we put everything in production and everything was going great. And suddenly the factory out of nowhere just up and quit and was doing nothing. And we had tens of thousands of dollars in. Now, looking at today, it would be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oof,
it was tens of thousands of dollars at the time in tooling, and they just left the tooling outside.
Wow.
By the
that's right.
building.
It rusted and all, right? It just
in the rain.
That's right. I remember that story. Yeah.
Yeah, it rusted and it was a mess. And both Randy Falk, who works for NECA, and Tony Bellato, who worked at McFarlane Toys and then was doing some freelance work for other companies, including NECA. They were both. Tony was going over to Hong Kong and China, where the factories were, and would go over there and oversee things. Well, he went over and he got our steel molds and moved them to a different factory. Randy had a hand in that too. And thank God, because we had another probably close to $20,000 that came directly out of our pockets to cover cleaning up the steel molds and running the plastic through them and getting it out there. But it
set you back a year, right?
Sorry?
It set you back a year, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it set us back at least a year.
Let alone the dollars, but yeah.
Yep.
So
plus we had a pre-order on it, and then it set us back, all that. And then, Yeah, it was.
So obviously,
it was
this was before Chris. So did any of you guys go to China, or did you, like you said, you had other people like from NECA or whatever?
No, actually, Chris started. I think it was. It may have been all the way back to Scarabus, but it might not have been. It might have been the avian, the bird people, Decebalus and all those guys. It might have been then when he started. He was just like working kind of like freelance for us, helping us out, and he was going over there overseeing things, and we eventually hired him. NECA had let him go, and he was looking for other work, and we're like, come over here.
Yeah,
because we need you. And yeah, he's been invaluable to us. Like Chris knows, he'll readily admit it. When I was like, Jim and Eric both were like, we want Chris to come on board. And I was like, I don't know. Chris can be a little bit much sometimes. I mean, you guys all know that.
What?
You think?
What?
Yeah.
I've
And
never
I
heard
can't
that before.
imagine being in an actual office space with Chris all day long. That might be kind of tough for me. I don't know if I
know a
can
few
take that.
people who can imagine that.
Yeah, but you know what? I will be the first to admit he is one of the most valuable employees we have.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
Yep.
He's very good at what he does.
Mhm.
He can get a little noisy at times in the studio, but you know, if you tell him, "Hey, calm down," he calms down.
You put up with what you got to put up with for good health, man. He's good.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's all over that stuff.
So that
By the
figure
way-
finally came out, and it was a big success. Sorry, Bill. Yep.
I was going to say,
Go
by
ahead.
the way, there is an article on Source Horseman about the Seventh Kingdom figures, and they do have an image with all the exclusives. I'll run through. So, like you said, October Toys, Raving Toy Maniac.
Oh, that's right.
Figures.com.
Yep.
Toy Rocket, Big Bad Toy Store. Action Figure Express.
Yeah, which is now Icon Heroes.
Okay, because their logo looks exactly like it almost looks exactly like an Entertainment Earth kind of looking thing. But so okay, so and then Fooshnet was the other one, and then you had your Store Horseman exclusive.
Wow,
that's right. And there's very few of those guys that are still around. It's kind of cool hearing those back.
Yeah, Icon Heroes and Big Bad Toy Store, as far as I know.
And Foosh.
And the Foosh, yes, the Foosh. Concentrating on different things, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so going from there, they also sought to focus on creating content to support their toy lines. In 2008, men met with the production company Four Kids Entertainment about creating an animated television series, a process the four found daunting. They came close to signing a deal, but the financial crisis hit and the deal fell apart.
Yeah, that was the big crash back then when that happened.
Yep.
That really sucked because we were like, oh my God, they're going to pick up one of our properties and then they were going to run it through for a year, and then another one they would pick up, and then another one, then another one.
Wow.
We had the four. We had Symbiotech, Seventh Kingdom, Magma Core, and Gothropolis. And they were going to pick up one of those each year and run with it as an animated series.
Wow.
And we were helping them out with another project they were working on. And then suddenly one day it all just collapsed. The whole company just gone.
They were just gone. Wow.
Yep.
So where was that stuff gonna? They were just a production company. Were they going to try to distribute it, or do you know where it was going to be? Or
it was going to be. It was a company. It was Four Kids Entertainment, and it was on. I can't remember what network they were connected to.
Like Nickelodeon or something.
It might have been Nickelodeon, but I can't remember. I can't recall.
Interesting. Oh man, I mean, this is the story though. Like, this is perfect perseverance, right? I mean, this is like all these things obstacles hit, and you keep going and you keep doing what you love. I mean, you
let,
got
let me tell you, I cannot tell you the number of times where we've been at like a turning point and then it falls apart.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I've come to expect it now. Although I shouldn't. I should be more positive about it than I am. I've come to expect, when things start to go too good, it's probably too good to be true. So,
well, it's the hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I don't think
but you can also say maybe, these are all stepping stones, that those doors closed, but others opened that led you to the success that you have today, right?
Which has happened. It's exactly as it's happened. It's as it's happened is the way it probably should have
supposed to be. Yeah.
Yep.
Ultimately, I mean, hindsight, but going through it, it's a bitch, but yeah.
So the point of this article was basically this is for entrepreneurs, and it was kind of like a discussion. They would like to sell their own toys through a mass market retailer like Toys R Us. Rest in peace. But their work from Mattel keeps them too busy to develop story concepts. The options, despite their struggles, the men would still like to pursue an animated series, but they're taking a more cautious approach to the entertainment industry. Understandably, they are looking for smaller ways to build their concepts, like through comic books and graphic novels. For now, they're talking to a brand developer in New York about representation. They're also building a style guide for their characters with the hope of handing it over to a writer who could develop a story concept. And they have broadened their partnerships to include 2 online retailers in Japan, a lucrative market for toy makers. And then we get the experts weighing in, and then there is a follow-up to this, which is very, very interesting. And again, we won't go through everything, but Bernard H. Tenenbaum. Do you know these people, or
no
people he consulted?
No clue.
A managing partner of China Cat Capital. I would love to see if China Cat Capital is still around. A strategy and investment firm in Princeton, New Jersey. This is an industry that's hard to make money in. They have design and creativity and imagination to get from where they are, which is making high-end, very sculpted, very sophisticated collector's product. Is the difference between couture and mass market. This is where the challenge they have is to face is in transforming to couture to pret-a-porter, which is like ready-made, right? Like off the shelf, like off the rack, right? Basically, stuff. Like, so, not really true.
No,
not really true. I mean, there's some truth there, but not really entirely true. Paul Budnitz, the founder of Kid Robot. Now I do.
Well, wait. Going back to that.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
We've always kind of done things our own way and done things kind of ass backwards, where we create the toy lines and we create the worlds around the toy lines, including the smaller characters involved in the toy line, and then we see if it's gonna take flight and become a bigger property, like an animated series or a comic book or a cartoon of some sort, something like that. We've never, I mean, if you do that constantly, you're just gonna, you're gonna sit there. Just go ahead and do it. Do your toy line and make the best of it, and hopefully something will come of it.
It's punk rock, sure. Paul Budnitz, the founder of Kid Robot, maker of designer art toys and apparel. Here's the real issue. I can't remember the last time I've heard of someone becoming successful as an entrepreneur while holding down a full-time job. I don't know about that either. It happens occasionally, I'm sure, but frankly, building a business requires a lot of time and focus and luck, which, yes, okay. You only make miracles happen when you have to. Again, okay. An even less polite way to say it is, if you want to be successful, you need to get off your butt, stop playing it safe, and which is kind of like what you're saying. Like,
well, he's not altogether wrong, because it did take us a long while to get out from underneath the Mattel umbrella and do something more. There was a point when we were concerned about what direction Mattel was going to take concerning us, and we said, you know what, it's time that we need to at least make sure that if this does happen, that they're not going to be working with us anymore or being exclusive with us. that we need to work on something that's going to help us move forward.
Sustain,
And
right? Like without
and that's
kind of work, right?
kind of what we did when Seventh Kingdom and we tried with that, wasn't quite working. Gothropolis was not quite working. It was okay, but not spectacular. And then Mythic Legions was just it, and it took off.
I feel like all those other lines, like kind of just focused. You know what I mean? It just you can see swimming around with all those things. You're touching on things that are going to work. And yeah,
I agree. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, and it just started to focus there. Bruce Stein, an entrepreneur and consultant based in Los Angeles, so you know he's full of crap. No, I'm kidding. Make a deal with Mattel to launch X, Y, and Z properties in a first look deal. You ever try this? Tell Mattel we're going to be doing the work you give us, and we're going to be developing our own property lines. If Mattel passes, they can hire some other people to develop it. Did you ever consider that?
Consider what?
Well, approaching Mattel and saying, we're going to develop this line if you're interested in carrying it, I guess, is what he's saying. Like, we're going to do Seventh Kingdom, and like, hey, would you like to be the money behind it, and you distribute it and we design it? Okay.
Yes. There were a couple of lines. One was a kind of like an action figure / gaming system that we approached. There were a lot of things over the years that we approached Mattel with, both properties of theirs that would be in-house and properties of ours that maybe, like you say, they would foot the bill for or do the production for or something like that, or the distribution. So yes, we did approach them with things like that. It wasn't I wouldn't say that it was anything that we would, like Mythic Legions, we would not have approached Mattel with that. We would have approached them with something that not only that we didn't think was solely our own property, that we felt was ours, but it's something that they could benefit from as well. So we did that a few times.
Yeah, because I mean, I think in that case, it's like how much you're giving away a lot of intellectual property there to a big company on a big chunk of that, and you may just
worry that are they going to say no, we'll pass, and then they just go do it on their own,
which can happen too as well, for sure.
It can.
Well, it's good that when you're doing a lot of this stuff, you're talking business, you're talking money, you're talking creative properties and ideas. And people saying yes or people saying no, that you don't ultimately burn any bridges or, walk away with hard feelings. So I imagine the toy community world might end up being a small world in a way.
Fortunately, we were very, very, very good friends with a few of the people there, and we would only show them show the things that we were presenting to Mattel to those people, and we didn't show them to any of the real higher ups. It was people that we thought we could really trust. And fortunately they didn't pick up any stuff that we took into them, and they didn't do anything with it later on, which
that's good.
Very, very happy about, and we're very fortunate to we made those connections, and luckily those connections turned out to be good.
Well, and obviously we all know you guys aren't those type of guys either, right?
Yeah.
So it paid off.
Yeah.
Being genuine, good people.
Yeah, like now, there are people who want to make toy lines or action figures or whatever that come to us, and we sign a mutual non-disclosure agreement with them, and we would never, ever try to utilize any of their ideas as our own.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem right to me. Right. If there is something that comes too close to some of the properties that we're working on that might create some sort of a problem, then I would have to say no, we're not interested in doing that. But
there you go. Yeah,
we would never use that.
Yeah, no, that's not worth it. I mean, you've got a reputation now. Let me bring this back. This is a follow-up to that article because it was asking for people's input, and they reiterate Bernard and Paul and Bruce's.
Trevor, before you, sorry to interrupt you, but before you segue into that, do you want to do a quick giveaway?
Oh, giveaway. Thank you, Nate. Completely forgot about the giveaway.
While you're pulling that up,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna, CB 12 years ago. What's it? Did it go by in a blink? Can you believe that? Looking back on this, where you are today, like, what are you thinking?
Holy crap! Is it been 12 years
from this article?
Man, yeah, no, it really has been the blink of an eye. It's obviously we've been through a lot, and there's a lot of gray hairs between the three of us,
or no hairs,
that have come and eventually gone. But it really does seem like the blink of an eye. Like there's just so much that has happened, and every time I think about it, I think that only seems like yesterday. It's really weird.
Yeah, 12 years ago is not that long, but it feels like when you look back at stuff that's happened 12 years ago like this, it feels like a lifetime. It's insane.
Yeah, we'll see. 99, 2000, 19. Yeah, it's 20 something years now that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's the big anniversary this year.
It's the big anniversary.
Oh, that's right. That's this year.
Big anniversary year.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 years for Mythic, right? And 20 years for you guys. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. All right. We got a giveaway. We got a $25 gift certificate to Four Horsemen, Store Horsemen. Hashtag Cornboy. Get them in there.
So
Show
perfect for you using for what's left in stock sale, right? Or any other figure obscures that are coming
good stuff
up.
there.
So, yeah,
for $25, we'll get you pretty close to it, and
almost will get you a Legion builder.
A builder,
right?
Pretty much right there.
Just about.
I'll be right back.
All right. Okay. So get those in. I'll let that go while we're looking at some other stuff here, because we did, like I said, there was a follow-up to this, so I'm going to share this instead. So we had some comments, and I'm not going to read through all of these again. It's getting a little late, but I just thought some of these were very interesting. Orange County, California. Steve York. Ring any bells? Anybody you know?
No.
Okay.
We don't know.
The Four Horsemen are by far the best action figure sculptors working right now. I think I probably
who is that?
Steve York.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, this is 2012. The Four Horsemen are by far the best action figure sculptors working right now. I think I probably have close to 250 different figures of theirs from a number of different lines.
How could I not know his name?
I know, right?
I'm awful.
I'll be curious if anybody does know him in the studio or remember him. But I'm kind of surprised to hear their revenue is that low, which is I didn't think that was that low. They're responsible for the relaunch and current popularity of Masters of the Universe, which has made Mattel a ton. Seems like they should play hardball and negotiating with Mattel. Good luck with that. Especially if they feel their current commitments limit them. Blah blah blah.
Well, that's the thing. Like people, like they think that we're this giant multinational company, and it's really Eric, Jim, and I, and then a group of artists and people who help us out with like the warehouse work. There's maybe at the most any given time 20 people in the studio, and that's including.
And that's now.
That's current. Yeah, right.
That's now.
Not 12 years ago.
Yeah, and that's including yourself and other sculptors that we have one sculptor who is in where's he at? Is it Italy? I forget. But that's including those people. We have a group of about maybe 20 to 25 people. And it's not that big. It's not that big a company.
Yeah. No, I know. And that's now. That wasn't 2012.
Yeah, that was four people.
Yeah, right.
2012, it was literally only 4 people.
Right. It's not like you're going to send your team of lawyers in there to negotiate with.
Yeah, you just don't have that much pull with Mattel. I'm sure you had a little bit of wiggle room to but you're not putting them, calling them on the carpet. They're just going to tell you to kick sand.
No, I think a little bit later we had a little bit more. Mattel had a little bit more vested interest in us, in that we had come up with and created some stuff for them, and especially that Motu Classics line. When we came up with that was huge for Mattel, and I think that they trusted us with a lot more than we ever should have been trusted with. Like, they let us play in their sandbox, and we're extremely grateful. But you know, DC Universe Classics and Masters of the Universe, these were like their babies, and they let us take the ball and run with it. Like, they weren't that. There was very, very, very little times when they had like, oh, here's a design that we want you to do for us with these lines. It was us just coming up with our own thing. And just the four of us. Eventually, Sherry got hired doing paint work. Bill came in and was working. Bill Mancuso came in and was working part-time here and there. But, you know, it was just four of us, and they let us go wild. And that was crazy. Crazy of them to do, but they trusted us. And later on, like I said, they trusted us more with stuff. So we were able to kind of call out things that we thought should be different or changed in different waves and stuff.
Yeah, I could see, you know, a big company like that doesn't want to change rapidly. You know what I mean? Like, they get somebody they trust, and you're doing great work, and it's like you don't want to lose that. So yeah, I can see where you have a little bit of pull there. But
well, we were told early on that they had wanted to hire, like, just before we were hired, they wanted to hire a group of a team of designers, sculptors, whatever, that was outside of the internal red tape that they wouldn't have to cut through.
Interesting.
So they just let us go with the stuff, and
interesting.
You know, hopefully that worked well for them. I think it did for a while.
I think it did. It seems like it did.
Now, do you still have connections that are there from the same back in the old days, and do you stay in touch?
Yeah, pretty much. There's one guy there, Major Bill Beneke, who we love him to death, and we, every time we go out to California, we try to get to, you know, set aside some time to see him, go get breakfast or something like that. Yeah, he's a good dude. And there were a few other connections we made, not necessarily through Mattel itself, but through their connection to DC. We would go, like, for a while, we went over to the New York offices, DC offices, to get approvals on projects that we were working on. That way Mattel wouldn't have to fly their people out back and forth. We wouldn't have to send them our clay prototypes, then fly them to New York, then fly back, and then we just take it over to New York and have them looked at. And we made a lot of connections when we were there that we're still good friends with. So there's some decent connections we made with those people.
Cool.
To that point, he goes on to say they should seriously consider a move to the West Coast. Be close to the motel, closer to Hollywood, and if they're serious about continuing to produce their own lines, that much closer to production in China. Did you ever consider that? Did you ever consider move?
No. Okay. I mean, we joke around about doing that, but there's no way you're going to get Jim from the East Coast. Nope.
No.
Yeah, I don't think Eric and I would move from the East Coast now either. I mean, maybe when we retire, something like that, we'd do it, but not as a business and doing all this kind of stuff. No, we're East Coasters at this point.
Yep. Creating their own characters will always have a limited appeal. They need to pursue established series that have never had awesome toy lines. Why not pitch a Four Horsemen designed Magic the Gathering series to Hasbro, Bill? Instead of an action figure that has a run of 1,000, find a series that can justify 15 to 20,000 units. And who says it just has to be Four Horsemen? I don't even know what this means. especially if the, well, I guess he's talking about staff. Start a talent search
Oh,
for
yeah.
the best customizers in the world to become the fifth horseman. Yeah, blah blah blah. Maybe a reality show to follow the process. That'd be fun.
Well, first of all, that stuff all came to fruition where we eventually tried minor licenses, but tried to do some licensing just to kind of see how it went. It didn't go all that well. It was okay. Didn't go all that well. Dealing with the licensors and dealing with dealing with the fact that they didn't sell all that well. That wasn't that great. And as far as, the staff, you can't just start out a business instantly and start with a huge staff. So we eventually got there. We're kind of still building, but
I mean, you got to have the revenue first before you're bringing more people in to pay for that. He goes on about the Four Horsemen work best in 6-inch scale figures with 20 to 30 points. I don't know what he's going on here, but it's interesting. I'm going to put this up. There's some incredible prescient comments here. I'm trying to figure out which ones they were, but one is to expand their base not just to big companies, but also partner with other entities to enter the consumer market. Another idea is to expand the design, sculpting, painting to just beyond sci-fi fantasy themes, maybe working with real-life models, planes, trains, and automobiles. No.
All of that is valid.
Wait, did somebody say planes, trains, and automobiles?
He literally says planes / trains / automobiles, not planes, trains, and automobiles. The movie.
Like figures, like
yeah.
That's all valid. I mean, certain toy companies pillows. they can handle that stuff and do it well, but it's not for us.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, we're far more artists than we are businessmen. We're trying to be businessmen, but I guess we're doing okay at it. But we're artists and geeks, and that's where we stand.
That's why you loved and it endured so much. Yeah,
that's it. I think that's the genius behind it is because you are, and you weren't thinking business first, is that you actually finally targeted it to capture the people you like, and other people are going to like it, and as soon as you put your heart into it and focus it, you found it. You found what it was,
and look at the community of artists that it's created too.
That's amazing. Like, I can't say enough about the creativity and everything of all the different types of artists. I mean, you got photographers, you got sculptors, you got painters, soft goods artists. It's unbelievable. And then amazing. People doing dioramas, people making like cosplays, and just unbelievable. What it's inspired.
LegionsCon's turned into an art show, man. Yeah, it's amazing.
The cosplay was like the last bastion for me. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, this is it, man. This is it.
Yeah.
This is a legit, con for, a toy line. It's amazing. Like really incredible. Let's do this giveaway. Let's put this up here really quick. Hashtag Cornboy. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds to put in your entry. This is for a $25 gift certificate to Store Horsemen, so you can use that right away on the ISS. Get in there. Mr. Allen. What's up, Mr. Allen? For an artist, it is really hard to be a businessman. I know that right now for my new book. Yes. Yeah. It's difficult, especially writing books, anything, man. It's tough. You gotta love what you're doing a lot of times, especially when you're just getting started on something, because the money's just not going to flow right off the bat.
Yep.
But it's kind of two halves of the brain. You're right and left, right? One's the creative side. Now there's business, numbers, money, and sometimes
I've always been bad at that too. It's just not my forte.
Speaking of last bastions, did you see Walter's suggestion?
What's that?
Four Horsemen landscape design team. The next frontier.
That's right.
There you go.
Four Horsemen landscape. What was that thing that
I like that?
Have some shrubbery in the shape of Malleus.
Yeah.
Some nice
You,
shrubbery.
you send people out to homes to like mythicize their landscape.
Ooh,
You
he'd
can
be like Edward
create
Scissorhands.
life-size dioramas.
He'd be like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Picking the dinos and stuff.
Create a Rakagor on your front lawn and on your shrubs. Amazing, dude. You got to get on that, man. That'd be
Sounds
incredible.
like a good idea. That's a good plan.
Maybe it's like tiny landscaping, like tiny like
Like
1/12
bonsai?
scale.
Like
Yeah,
bon-
and like tiny 1/12 scale landscaping, so you can take natural photos, like not dioramas, but like legitimately like life grown landscaped tiny.
I'll take it. You make it, I'll buy it.
having said that, I kind of would like shrubbery, like 1/12 shrubbery shaped like Mythic Legions figures. That's interesting. I guess I could just block them, right? I mean,
Yeah.
all right, let's do this. We got 112 people, 150 people in here. Please take a second to hit that like. This is awesome that we got this many people in, but just goes to show the love for CB is great. All right, 112 people. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Boom. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck,
A
everybody.
lot of people, but somebody's got to win. So hopefully somebody new. Hopefully somebody here. Oh. Rafael Perez.
Rafael Perez.
Is that a repeat
Congrats,
winner?
Rafael.
Raphael.
What's that?
That name looks familiar. Is that a repeat winner?
I think
recognize the
Rafael
name, but-
won before. I think he has.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
so,
pretty
yeah.
sure Rafael has won before here.
Congratulations, Raphael.
You're picking the right spot to hit that hashtag. So congratulations. Just hit me up on either Facebook or IG, and I will get that out to you. That's an email, so nothing has to be sent out. You just get the email, you use it, you'll be able to use it tomorrow. So there you go.
So I know we're kind of getting late, CB, but we've had a great time looking back, but I'm not going to make you look 12 years forward, but maybe 5. Like, could you share any sort of long-term kind of projections or goals or anything that you've got, you and the team have for Four Horsemen that you can sort of hint at least?
More Legions.
More Legions.
Like we did Cosmic Legions about 5 years after Mythic Legions. So maybe in another few years we'll do some other types of Legions. Who knows?
Ah.
Western Legions. That'd be really cool.
Excellent.
I have to tell you though, Western Legions to us, I don't think that it would be exactly like, it wouldn't be like Doc Holliday and all those.
Yeah,
no.
No.
It would be something different. It would have to be something different.
It's gonna have to be a little bit of fantasy Western.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
vote
just
for
great.
Some steampunk, maybe.
I know you've talked about that in the past, the steampunk too. Yeah.
How about any more desire to connect with like entertainment properties, like make a animated series or?
We've always got those kinds of irons in the fire where we hope one day to do Mythic Legions and or Cosmic Legions as an animated property, or major motion picture would be great, but we'll wait and see on that one.
I'm honestly shocked that nobody's come to you to some degree.
I can't say that they haven't.
Oh, okay.
And you were saying something earlier. Oh, that's what I was going to say about one of the articles. They wanted to do a possibly like a behind the scenes or a reality show. We poo-pooed that. A couple of different times. We said no to that a few times.
Yeah.
Is it because of Chris? Was that why, CB?
That's part of it.
Guess.
Chris would probably be a featured player on there.
He'd be the star of that show.
The problem is those shows, they inadvertently create drama, which we don't need that.
Exactly.
We're a very happy family, and there's no need to insert any bull crap into that. So
that is a great choice. Yeah, because it's all just to create drama and tension and stuff, and that stuff can spill over, I'm sure, into real life, even if it's all scripted and BS or edited that way. It's just going to come off as being a problem. And nobody on the outside wants to see that either. Knowing you guys, especially at this point, you know what I mean? Forget that.
That's what Intern's for. Intern, you get the peek behind the curtain, you know, if you're lucky enough to go do that.
Yep.
For sure. Curtis with the $1.99. We got to see CB tonight, so we are all winners. That is the truth right there.
I think did he say wieners or winners?
He spelled it right this time, so it's good. Listen, this was fantastic. I appreciate you. I hope that wasn't too painful going back. That was great, man. I loved all that insight that you gave us on that thing. I didn't even think that might have fueled that much the discussion and behind the scenes lore and history. That was fantastic. That was really, really good. I really appreciate you doing that.
And if I had a better memory, I would probably be able to read more. But
yeah, it's good. It's good enough.
It's fading for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. CB, we are so glad to see you up and about and back and looking good and feeling good, hopefully. And we
thank you. Appreciate it.
Hope and pray that this November, we'll see you at least GCon and LegionsCon, hopefully Intern for a day for a little while. Fist bumps only, please. Fist bumps only, at least for the time being.
I think you will.
Awesome. That's great.
I think things are going well enough. I think hopefully within the next month or so, I'll be out and about at all the
awesome
shows.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Awesome.
And if you can surprise us in a month at MythiCon, all the better.
Yeah.
Great news.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't.
Yeah, don't push it. Don't push
it. I definitely can't make the road trip out there. And I'm not sure that I should be flying right now. So.
No, don't do that. Don't do it. It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna go out there. We'll see what it's like, and for sure next year. But this is great. Really appreciate your time, man. It's always great to see you. Thank you everybody for showing up. This is great. Thank you for the super chats. Great discussion in the chat and here. This is great. So thanks everybody for showing up.
Thank you for having me on. This was a really good time.
Yeah, this was great. I'm really glad you can make it, and everybody's happy to see you back.
Big time.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a couple weeks. Go check out the other Legions shows that are going to be on this week. It seems to be I think we're on a timeline now for the every other week thing that we're right in line with all the other Legions shows. So we'll try to keep it on this this timeline, or maybe that's too much Legions.
And was it Cullen or was it Jonathan who sort of put the TV guide thing together? That
yeah.
Pull that up.
Events. So if you go to the Cabal,
the events.
That's right. Yeah,
at the top there's a tab called Events, and then in that tab, it's anything that's coming up. It's right there with the schedule.
Yep.
Great.
It's amazing how much stuff there is.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly. All right, everybody.
Awesome.
Have a great night. We thank you very much, and take care of yourselves. See you next time. Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks, fellas. Bye-bye.